Hello, I'm Liam Turner, the digital editor at CIH. As part of our 2024 vice presidential election, I've been catching up with the three candidates to find out a bit more about their housing history and the issues that matter to them. In this video, I talk with Hony Premlal. Hony has a vast housing CV, though she currently sits on the board of a number of housing organisations, including as chair for Women in Social Housing London and on the board of Trinity Housing Association. Okay, so the first question we've got then, and I would say it's quite a big one. The CIH vice presidential election coincides with the general election. If you were Prime Minister, what's the first thing you would do to try and fix the housing crisis?
Thank you, Liam. That's a very interesting question. I wish I was the Prime Minister because over the last 30 years, I do believe the housing was not the primary focus for many governments. Hence, we haven't built enough homes. Hence, we are in this crisis. So the rough sleeping and people are living in temporary accommodation, even children are sleeping in temporary accommodation is going up and up. So there is a massive need to fix this housing crisis. I know recently most of the politicians start talking about housing now. So I believe National Housing Federation says housing is fourth on the list at the moment after the other three categories. Yes, if I become a Prime Minister, I think there are a number of things I'd like to do because obviously we need more money, we need more land, we need to build more homes. It's not just homes, it's good quality, sustainable homes and communities we need to be creating. Obviously, we need a lot more funding. That's first thing. So we have a crisis, we haven't got enough homes. So the quick fix, I feel, is can we put a temporary stop on right to buy across UK, because I know it's already happening in different parts. So until we build inner homes, maybe stop on right to buy, so we can at least keep those homes for the needy customers need to rent. So that's the first thing I would say, along with many other things I can think of. So
yeah, well, I guess that leads me into my next question then, which is, what do you see as the most significant challenge facing the housing sector right now?
The sector is going through a very, very difficult time. I've been working in the sector almost 3 decades now. I'm very delighted to say that I started as a frontline worker, worked all the way to the managing director, and now chair and board member for many providers. So I have seen or experienced in the challenge we're facing. The sector hasn't got enough money to fix everything. Obviously, there's damp and mold, and the condition of the properties is a big demand for us to do that. Decent homes, net zero, fire safety, building safety, and making sure we provide a great service for our customers. So that's fundamental. I think every customer is deserved to live in a good quality, safe home. I think that's the basic we need to do. So obviously we need to do that. Also, equally, we needed to build more homes because there are so many people in temporary accommodation. There's so many homeless people, and so many people can't even get to the social housing ladder because all their income is going for private renting. Hence, there is a need for rental and ownership, home ownership, both social is required. So I would say it's a massive challenge we are facing. The first thing is the new government need to put housing on the top of the list because housing can make a massive difference to people's well-being. When people are living in a good quality home, you're more likely to have good education, good health, good employment, and it equally would help them to tackle crime and many other things as well. So I would say if the government think housing is one of the top priorities. I know security of the country is important. After that, I would say it's housing because that makes massive difference to people's well-being. More funding so we can build more homes. Probably we need to get more land from the National Health Service and railways. They have they're keeping got a lot of lands, maybe release the land for us to build homes as well. More funding. I'm sure GLA and Homes England can give us more funding. The other thing I would say is the supported housing. Sadly, a lot of our providers are not able to run the service because it's not viable business. I know I worked in sector so many years and given care and support for vulnerable residents, and that does make a massive difference. So hence the funding cuts are not viable. So we do need to think about how we can provide the care and support for those vulnerable customers as well. So we need to find a new model for those things as well. The other thing I would say is we haven't got a rent guarantee for so organizations like myself, where I'm chair, we don't know what's the next 2 years. After 2 years, there's no rent settlement.
Yep.
So we need to know what it's going to be so we can actually plan ahead as well. So net zero, again, many organizations is a massive challenge. We don't even know how to get there. So the challenges are, of course, our customers deserve to receive a good service, and we need to really make a meaningful change to our community and customers as well. And that itself is a challenge at the moment with the new regulation. The regulation shouldn't be telling us what to do because we should be doing those things either way. So I'm passionate about giving great service to our customers. So I think that, the new consumer standards and hopefully would fix some of those challenges as well.
Yeah. And moving on to some more personal questions then. So I know you mentioned you've been working in the sector for many years. What would you say has been the proudest moment of your housing career so far?
There were so many proudest moments, I would say. Is I'm just trying to think. Probably I would say is I'll tell you shortly my story. I born and raised in India, in Kerala. I came to United Kingdom in 1993, and I did study in Malayalam, which is the mother tongue of Kerala. I couldn't speak much of English, so when I came to United Kingdom after marriage and to find a job, it was virtually impossible. So I was knocking on doors and trying different ways of getting a job, even though I had a master's in biochemistry. So it took me over 2.5 years to get my first job as a copy typist to help a CEO to put the policies and procedures into the computers. Obviously, I knew how to use the systems really well. So that was my first job, and I studied further. I did my MA in Housing Law and Policy. I did my MBA and many other studies while raising 2 daughters as well. So the proudest moment is I became a managing director and a chair of the organization. I started as the first copy typist. So I'm managing as the chair of that organization, managing the CEO and the board, and making meaningful transformation for the organization, which is Eldon Housing. Really, that probably one of the proudest thing, along with many other things. I work with many customers, many colleagues in the sector. I do believe I touched many people's hearts and, made a difference to their life, because housing is everything to me.
Yeah, that I guess leads me nicely on to my next question, which is, and to be fair, I think you've already covered this slightly, but what does housing mean to you personally?
It's a lot of people ask me, Hannah, you have many hats. Don't you get bored? Do you get tired? Of course, I am the chair of Eldon Housing. I'm chair of Wish London, which is Women in Social Housing, which I'm again proud about empowering women. I'm a board member of Trinity Housing Association. We do support vulnerable customers. I'm a board member of Somerset Cooperative Housing Society. We are the Community Land Trust. Again, we're trying to build homes for the community. I'm also a regional member of CIH, and all these different hats I'm having, plus my day job is I'm a housing consultant, I'm a mentor and a coach as well. So people ask me, do you get bored with all these housing varieties? For me, I get joy with everything I do because I feel housing has given me everything. As I said, 28 years ago, I came into housing, and that job actually changed my life for everything. I understand what really difference it makes to people's life. I was living in social housing because my mother-in-law and they had a council property. That's where my first home. So I understand that makes difference to people. Luckily, I managed to buy a home and to give a a good quality life to my family, my children as well. So it's really meaning everything to me. As I said, part of Wish is women empowerment, especially Black and ethnic minority people. I'm mentoring many women at the moment to gain their confidence. And so for me, my journey, if I can inspire women like myself to say anything is possible with the determination, hard work, authenticity, and resilience, because it was not easy being a BME woman, climbing the ladder from a frontline worker all the way to a managing director and chair. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen very easy. I have lots of failures, also a lot of us step back, but I kept going because I do believe with the right determination and hard work and being honest, because integrity is fundamental. As you know, politicians now being tested heavily because of their integrity, and I can say that's one of the values I am holding close to my heart.
Yeah. And one final question then, which I'll also be asking the other two candidates, is who's your housing hero and why?
I have many heroes. I see heroes every day. I probably would start with my first housing hero was the CEO, who is Elizabeth, who was the CEO of Eldon, where she told me housing is the place I would cherish, I would grow, and that she started. And then I had many other mentors in my journey, and I would say it's David Searle, who was the ex-managing director of Circle Mall Valley. He's still my mentor. And Tomath, there's another ex-CEO. He's also a great mentor and a supporter, and many others. And another CEO, I would say Linda Wallace, she's the CEO of PHA Housing. And these all professionals I do help me. But in terms of heroes, I've seen customers, frontline workers, every day they're making a change, because there's so many customers, they give so much to their organization. Because I've been part of various panels and forums, and I've seen, even I was very lucky to meet some fantastic people at the Manchester conference and the Housing Heroes and Women's Awards, and that each and every one inspired me and come back and fulfill with energy and say I can do a lot more, because I do believe if you do something even small, it would make someone's life better. I think it's worthwhile doing that. So yeah, I hope I can inspire someone.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, that brings me to the end of the questions. Just briefly before we finish up, is there anything you'd like to leave viewers with? Any final messages?
Thank you. Firstly, I want to thank you to CIH panel for shortlisting me for this vice presidential role. I was a candidate last year, and unfortunately, I didn't win. I know there's always winners and losers in every competition. So then I decided this year, first I thought, should I stand again? There are so many of the people said, honey, you should stand again. And then I decided I'm not going to sit down until I win. So I decided to apply again. And firstly, I want to say thank you to CIH and all the supporters who voted me so far, and giving me that inspiration and encouragement to go through this again. Because my manifesto, I want to put housing at the top of the agenda. Like I mentioned, I want to influence politicians, policymakers. I want to bring CIH in that platform to raise the housing in the top of the list. Secondly, I am a massive advocate of diversity at the board and leadership position. Currently, it's less than 3% of BME people represented on senior leadership. I'm one of very few people sitting sadly in rooms because there's not many people like myself. So that's one of my other aim. And third is about bringing new people into the sector. So currently I'm working with many universities and talking to them about the how wonderful career you can have in the housing sector. So I want to do that. Finally, CIH. I'm a proud chartered member of CIH. I really wanted to improve CIH profile, increase the membership. I really wanted all our housing professionals proudly say I'm a member of CIH, and that's what I want to do as well. So, so please vote for me to raise the profile of CIH, raise housing as one of the top career people want to choose, and housing as the top agenda for the politicians and policymakers, and really want to raise our profile. So please vote for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Hony Premlal, for talking with me today, and good luck with the rest of your campaign.
Thank you very much.